Well, I guess this is Rob.
And this is Dave.
Thanks, Maud, for setting this up. We're really happy to have you here today.
Oh, yeah.
Joining us. I'm Rob Booker.
And I'm Dave Murphy.
And this is the Farm Bill Hour. Now, if you pay any attention to Forex forums and you get emails from spammers, online casinos, and your mom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You've probably received in your email box an email along the way in the last few weeks that said something about
your picture is black?
Yeah. Everybody,
the picture is black.
Keep your pants on, everybody. I'm talking. I'm not seeing. We're talking. We're
talking with our ears, not our eyes.
Okay. Let's see. I wonder if I'll be able to even share that. I'm going to share with you a link. Yeah, the picture is supposed to be blank. There's no picture up right now. If you go to this link here, it's the Agriculture Farm Bill. The Farm Bill in Congress. It's the one that there's been a lot of arguing over and a lot of questions about, and it's been a big, fat, hairy mess. It's been a huge, huge mess. And the reason it's been a mess is outside the scope of what we're going to talk about, because the reason it's a mess has more to do with arguments in Congress and more to do with President Bush arguing about rich people getting tax breaks and stuff like that. And if you go to that link, I'm not going to show it because the link showing my browser isn't working. You go to that link, the Farm Bill is discussed. And it's the actual text of the Farm Bill. And Title 13 covers commodity futures. Now, you'd think that a farm bill, a law in the United States of America that is supposed to discuss subsidies to farmers and whatever else, wouldn't have anything to do with Forex, but we'd be wrong in making that assumption. There's a big section in here that does sort of dramatically change the way that Forex is regulated.
Oh, really?
It takes Forex outside the regulation of the NFA completely and puts it completely within the realm of the CFTC. Now, there's a lot of reasons that matters, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. But first of all, it's simply a regulatory fix. It's just a fix.
Sure.
It takes it outside the power of the NFA. What's interesting to me is it gives the CFTC, or the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, regulation over and the ability to make new rules about trading Forex for you and me. That's a big deal because the Securities and Exchanges Commission is going to eat up the Commodity Futures Trading Commission as part of the Paulson plan, as part of the overhauling of the Fed and everything else that Henry Paulson, the Treasury Secretary, submitted in the wake of the subprime mortgage crisis. This creates a huge number of issues right now, immediately, and then subsequently a whole bunch of future problems that could exist. And I want to start off by simply encouraging you to click on that link that we provided you. Click on that link to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission section. It would be on page 548 of the PDF. Now I'm going to try one more time to share this, and I'm not sure that it's going to work, so please bear with me if it doesn't. I didn't have any idea that this wouldn't just automatically share in HotCom, but HotCom never ceases to unimpress me. So it's like constantly eating me alive and stuff. So give me a moment here, and I'm going to try and share this document in a PDF form. Sweet. So this may work. So give me a moment here. Like I said, there's nothing showing on the screen right now, but give me just a moment, and I'm going to see if we can. It just won't share that PDF.
Goodness.
Timed window. Let's set the timer interval. Everything is correct. And when I go there, it doesn't want to share it. Does that share anything, or does that just share a menu? It just shares a menu, right? That doesn't share anything. Weird. Okay.
All right.
So HotCom doesn't want to share the actual PDF, does it? How about that? Does that share it?
Okay, now.
Oh, great. So this is sharing the Farm Bill. Excellent. I'm going to go to page 548. That's where all the great stuff starts. Perfect. So follow along with me here, because this is going to get a little tricky in a moment, and it's very easy. Now, I did go to law school, okay? So I'm not just a dorkwad, windbagging off all this crap.
Sure. You know legalese.
Yeah, I spent 3 years looking at this crap. So let me just for a moment explain to you that this does not destroy the retail Forex business. If you're getting emails from some jackhole, windbag, blowhard that says, this is the end, you're going to have to be regulated in order to trade currency. You don't have to be regulated. It's talking about your Forex dealer. It's not talking about you. The bill does not regulate you yet.
I was panicking about regulating my EA. I don't know.
If you get an email from somebody that says, no, you're going to have to register with the NFA or with the CFTC in order to trade currency, write back this following email, word for word. You are a jackhole. That is not true. That's not true. That's people that don't understand how to read this stuff. And it's understandable that they don't. It's difficult to read. Look at all this crap in here. Agreements, contracts, transaction, and retail foreign currency, and blah, blah, blah. This Title 13 of the Farm Bill, which was already passed, which Bush vetoed, and which now the House and the Senate are going to override if they haven't done it already, this will become law. Okay? This will become law if it hasn't already. Okay. This completely changes the commission or the agency that's going to regulate your Forex dealer, and it puts it in the hands of the CFTC. It also says, and look at this section right here. I want to focus our attention on the section that's right in the middle here, and I'm going to make it even bigger if I can. Here it goes. And I'm going to see if I can, do we have any drawing tools? Customize toolbars. Let's view, see if we have extra toolbars. No, there's no drawing toolbars. Okay. Right here in the middle, it says the dollar amount that applies for purposes of this clause is $10 million beginning 120 days after the date of this enactment, $15 million beginning 240 days, and $20 million after 360 days. They're not punishing anybody. There's no punishment here. In fact, this is what I'm trying to say, Andre. There's nothing here that punishes you. Everything in this agreement, everything in this bill protects you. Everything. This has no... That's the misunderstanding that's circulating on the web. This is not punishing you. This has nothing to do with punishing you, unless you're a Forex dealer. This has nothing to do with punishing you. You have to get the CFTC doesn't make you feel safe. Well then, you know what? Okay. Fine. Then don't have it regulated at all, and it'll be like you live in frickin', like the middle of a war zone. It'll be like you live in Baghdad. If unregulation is what you want, okay. I'm going to share with you right here. I'm going to share with you what that means. Let me pull up the right one. It'll just take me a moment. Uh-oh. Oh, let's see if I can get... All right. We'll stay here for a minute. What this means, folks, is that in October of this year, every dealer that is processing trades for you, GFT, Interbank, FXCM, Awanda, all of those that do business in the U.S. have to have at least $10 million in their capital account. That's not $10 million in the bank that they use for operating expenses. That's not $10 million in customer accounts. That's $10 million extra dollars on top of everything else in order to meet the needs of clearing trades or doing business if something goes wrong. It's like a backup fund. If they get in trouble with the CFTC, they can pay people off and there's money in the account.
And that's a good thing.
By February of that doesn't punish you, that helps you. That helps. By February of 2009, they need to have $15 million above and beyond everything else in the bank. And by June of 2009, they need to have $20 million in the bank. Maybe this question. Boyke says that how much must we have? It doesn't have anything to do with you. That's what I'm trying to clear up here. I've seen emails from people that said, I have to have $10 million in order to trade currency? No, it has nothing to do with you. In fact, as this kind of stuff happens, you will be required to have less and less. You can trade accounts smaller and smaller sizes based on what this bill is doing for you. Not more and more. Okay, that's right. All right. Well, thanks, Boyke. You gotta keep in mind that there's all kinds of crap. What does agriculture have to do with Forex? Nothing. These bills have all kinds of crap loaded onto them.
Yeah.
Okay. The CFTC's track record speaks. You know, Andre, I don't know who you are, and I'm sure you're a great guy, but if you don't want there to be any regulation, then you need to move to Baghdad. And you need to enjoy the world of chaos. You know, paying taxes and having regulatory agencies is part of living in a free country. And they don't do everything right. No, they don't do everything right. They're not perfect people. But it's better than nothing at all. So, you know, if you don't want any regulation,
I enjoy the rule of law.
Move to Baghdad, where you can live in blissful chaos. Okay. So number one, the first thing that's going to change is this 10, 15 million, and $20 million account. Let me go over a few things that are probably going to change as well. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to change the image here. You should be looking at a picture of you and your account.
That does look like me.
Okay, that's actually Dave. And exactly what DCF is saying, the lack of rules and the fact that there was no regulation at all, the lack of rules is what caused so many problems in the past.
Yeah.
So we ought to be grateful for there be some rules. You know why all these crap Forex firms go bust? Is because they weren't regulated, and there wasn't a requirement that they be regulated. The new farm bill that was passed requires everybody dealing Forex for you, all of the dealers, to become regulated. That means that they have to become regulated, and that means they have to have the right amount of money in the bank, and that means they have to turn in their weekly reports. That means they have to notify the CFTC if something goes wrong immediately. It has a whole new world here. It's a whole new regulation.
Which, if this was done before, some of our friends who lost their tons of money,
the West Coast
wouldn't have
happened. Never happened.
Wouldn't have happened.
Rules have been in place before.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're talking about you and your account. Let's talk about it for a minute. It's hard to see this, but we'll upload these images for you later. You and your account. You process a trade, and you have to put up margin. And that margin is a small portion of your account that you have to set aside with the dealer in order to process the trade. And the dealer has all these pips over here and profits ready to give you. If the trade is profitable and you win, the dealer gives back to you your margin, the little Q, and also gives to you the profit, the little P. If the trade loses, the dealer gives back to you your margin and takes away from you a little profit and puts it in the big bank of profits at the dealer's business. Now, the dealer might have to give those to other traders that are winning in their trades, or the dealer keeps it if there is a dealing desk and they're on the other side of the trade. The question really becomes, with you and your account, where are your profits coming from? Oh, man. Let us know that you can hear us all right, and that you can see the chart, the screen. Okay. Great.
Excellent day.
So the question for a long time became, should we have a dealing desk or should we not have a dealing desk? That was the big question. And for a long time, people said, if my firm has a dealing desk, they're screwing me big time.
They're running my stops.
They're running my stops. They're keeping the money. And for a long time, people thought that with a no dealing desk model, your pips, if you lost pips, they would go into the big market, the big swarm, the big hive. That if you lost money, it would go to somebody else. They would just be passing on trades to you. And they thought that a dealing desk model was evil. Well, the problem is, you have to think about this for a minute. What's the problem with the firm, Dave, claiming that they have a dealing desk? They don't have a dealing desk. What's the problem with that?
Where are they getting the liquidity?
Where are they getting the liquidity? The other problem is, how do you know that they're telling the truth?
Yes.
What have they proven? What have they said to you, or how have they proved that? If a firm tells you that they have no dealing desk, how are they going to prove that to you?
Yeah.
Is it marketing or is it truth? And why does it necessarily make them more honest? Why is a firm that doesn't have a dealing desk automatically more honest to you? I don't understand why that would necessarily be the case. It doesn't mean that they're honest or dishonest. Never mistake dealing desk or no dealing desk. Never mistake that for honesty. Ever. Ever. Never make the mistake. That is one of the huge things that goes on. Oh, is your broker a true ECN broker? Is it a true ECN broker? Well, there is no ECN in Forex. That's impossible. There's no centralized network where all the trades get cleared.
So a lot of that is just
marketing. And it doesn't make your dealer more honest. It doesn't make the price that you see more honest. And this is the problem in Forex today. You can make all these claims, and no one's there to regulate the claim.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the deal. So that's what you want to know. You want to know, is it a dealing desk or it is not a dealing desk? But you really want to know, is your firm honest? And what you do now is you have to go into the CFTC's website and the NFA's website, and you should look for complaints about your dealer. Regardless of whether they say they're dealing desk or no dealing desk, go on the NFA's website, the National Futures Association website, and look up your dealer and see what kinds of complaints have been made. That's where you want to get your information about whether your dealer is honest or dishonest. The reason I bring up the no dealing desk thing is that one of the proposed amendments and one of the proposed regulation changes is that if your firm says that they're a no dealing desk, they will have to actually start providing proof of that. Meaning they're going to have to submit reports, and they're going to have to show that they actually do not ever hold back any customer trades at all, that it's always straight through processing. Now what that's going to do is that's going to change big time who actually keeps saying that they don't have a dealing desk.
Yeah.
It's going to change everything again.
It's gonna make them prove it, and we'll know. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. For example, if your firm that you trade with says that they have no dealing desk and they make money only from the spread, they only make money from the spread. Dave, what are they going to have to do to the spread?
Widen it.
They're going to have to widen it to make money.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the only reason they make money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're going to have wider spreads.
Yeah. What about if they make money from your pips? If when you lose, they win. I'm not saying they were dishonest.
Sure.
But if you lose, they get it because they took the other side of the trade.
Sure.
The spreads could go lower because their profits are coming from your losses.
Okay.
So for a minute here, set aside the discussion of dealing desk or no dealing desk being either honest or dishonest.
Right.
And actually think for a moment, what's more important to you as a trader? Is spread more important to you, or no dealing desk important to you?
That's a good question.
It should start, this no dealing desk regulation, it should be very soon. If it hasn't happened already, it's coming down very soon. That they were going to require proof of that, and that's a good thing. Once again, it's another rule that's actually meant to help you. Okay, so deal or no deal. In October of 2008, they're going to be required to have $10 million. In February of 2009, they're going to be required to have $15 million. In June of 2009, $20 million. Interbank FX, FXCM, GFT, Owanda, they already have these amounts.
Yeah.
They already have these amounts, and that's not going to be a problem. Let's go into this. What are some changes that you can see coming down the pike if these things go through? If the CFTC becomes the regulatory agency, what are some things that will affect you? Margin requirements. Number one, margin requirements are probably going to be the most important thing that you notice. You're probably, over time, if the SEC takes over the CFTC, you are most likely going to see 400 to 1 and 200 to 1 margins disappear forever, and they will never come back. You're also likely to see, eventually, you're likely to see margin requirements increase. 20 to 1, 50 to 1 become the norm, and 100 to 1 to go away a bit. That's not in the works. They're probably something that they're talking about, but you will probably see this in the next 2 to 3 years. It's probably inevitable. As people lose more and more money faster, you'll probably see the requirements for margin go up. On the dealing side, you are probably going to see specific requirements that if they claim and advertise that they do not have a dealing desk, you are most likely going to see requirements that they prove that that's the case. Number two, capital minimum requirements will only continue to increase. Fewer and fewer dealers will exist, and dealers that do exist will have to have more and more money in the bank. This is all good. Still, it's all good.
It's all good, yeah.
All I've heard so far is good. Managing money. If someone's out there claiming that they manage money for Forex traders, they will have to be regulated. They will have to, no matter how much money they manage, and no matter how small the accounts are, and no matter for how many people they do it, you will see registration requirements. Anybody who asks you to let you have their money, anybody who asks you that, ought to show you their account statements. They ought to show you the previous account statements from the accounts they're managing. They should be regulated right now with the NFA and soon with the CFTC, and you should be able to look them up for complaint. If anybody ever tells you they want to manage your money, but they don't want to be regulated, and they don't want to show you the previous accounts, and that as they trade your accounts, you do not have access to see everything that's going on, just walk away.
Yeah, that's a little shady.
You don't want to have anything to do with that.
No. No.
How to know which broker is following this regulation? Well, you need to call your dealer and you need to ask them the following. If they say there are no dealing desks, you need to ask them if you can come visit their office, even if you don't intend to really follow up on it. Ask them if you can come visit their office and see the model at work. If they say no, you can't see it, then you got to ask them why. I mean, why wouldn't a dealer give you a tour of the office?
Yeah.
Ask your dealer for a tour of the office. Segregated accounts. What's coming down the pike is this. Is the money that you put in your trading account separate from the dealer's own operating account? Is it separate?
Good question.
Are they separate? In many cases right now, this is still not the case.
Really?
Yeah. And you'll have people out there, there's a firm out there that says that your money is kept separately in a Wells Fargo account with your name on it. And let me ask this question. How the crap did your dealer open up a bank account for you? How did they do that with the Patriot Act?
Yeah.
Did they show them your passport picture? Did they sign your name on the signature card? Excuse me, they didn't open an account for you. If they say that they opened an account for you at Wells Fargo, here's what you need to ask. When can I order my checks? Where's my debit card? Where can I log into Wells Fargo's online system and see my account? If they tell you they did that, they are lying unless they can back it up. Don't ever believe the hype. And if they tell you they opened a separate account up for you, then you ask them, where can I see my balance online? Can you show me that? If they say no, and it's because there's some fangled requirement, you need to get your money out of there. If they said that's your bank account, but you can't see it, that's a problem.
Yep.
Please don't believe the hype. What's going to happen is, the CFTC is going to, this is going to happen. It's not written yet, but it will happen. The CFTC is going to require that your money is kept separate from the dealer's account and that proof is displayed. And that if you lose money, the dealer has authority to dip into that account, take money out of it to cover the losses, and move on. Absolutely, positively the case that this will start to happen. This is common practice in futures accounts, and it will be common practice with Forex accounts. This will happen. Your money will finally be kept safe. Right now, there are very few dealers that require this or have this. There are very few that exist. There's, if you trade out of London with your dealer, they're regulated like futures commissions, and so they have to have your money separate, and they have to prove it to the regulatory agency. In the U.S., even if they claim it in their marketing, they do not have to do it. They don't have to do it.
What about Switzerland?
Switzerland's a black box. I would never open an account in Switzerland. Ever. Ever. It's not a Swiss bank account. You want to open a Swiss bank account? Open a Swiss bank account.
But you can't get into somebody else's.
A Swiss Forex account is not a Swiss bank account. You want to know if your money's separate. If your dealer says that your money is separate, you want to see how. How is that done? You want to have somebody on the phone, you want to record the conversation, and you want to have it displayed to you and showed to you. That's what you want to see. Exactly. Obama will fix it all. That's exactly right. These are just a few of the things that you're going to see coming down the pipe. They're going to force dealers to prove, if they say they don't have a dealing desk, then they're going to force dealers to prove it. They're going to raise the capital minimum requirements for dealers. They're going to change what it means to manage money in Forex. They're going to probably require the customer accounts to be segregated. They're going to require every dealer that does business in the States to register. What are Switzerland brokers known for? Up till now, they're known for going out of business. There are a few, ACM, Crown, that have been open for a while. I don't know anything bad about them. I'm not speaking badly about them. I don't know anything negative about them.
Right.
But the one thing I've noticed about Swiss dealers is there always seems to be stuff that you can't know about. There always seems to be stuff going on. I don't know anything about ACM, and I don't know anything about Crown. I can't say anything about them other than I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would be very careful about opening up your account with a Swiss broker. Remember, if it's in a foreign country, it's that much farther away from you, with a government that doesn't speak your language, with rules and requirements and regulations that aren't written in your language.
And that you might not understand.
If you live in the States and you trade, opening an account in England, Canada, or America makes sense to me, because you can speak the language, you can get help, and you can understand what's going on.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. That's really funny. Robert Day for Congress or Senate. That's funny. I think to follow this up and to sort of stop it at this point, the regulations that are coming, they're all meant to help you. They're meant to help you. They're not all going to be perfect, but they're meant to help you. Is it possible that one day they will require you to have $25,000 in your account in order to trade? Yeah, it's theoretically possible, but it's very unlikely. The huge business model has already been built up on this.
Yeah.
They're not gonna blow this whole thing up. It's very unlikely. Now, it's possible they'll do it. It's possible they will.
It's possible, but anything's possible.
Well, the reason they have a minimum capital requirement to day trade equities of $25,000 is because the average price of a stock is so much higher, and you can lose your money so much faster. With Forex, you could trade for 1 penny per pip. There's no reason why they're going to increase the minimum. There must be a central administration or board if we want to check about broker, not to ask the broker himself. Well, there is a central administration. Now, the places that you can go are the CFTC. You go to the CFT's website. Or you go to the NFA's website, and you go to those websites, and you can call these places up. If you call the National Futures Association on the phone, they will talk to you on the phone. In fact, they're really helpful people. I know they don't do things perfectly, and I know they make a ton of mistakes like everybody else. But they exist to talk to you on the phone. And I've called and talked about brokers. In fact, one time I called when our friend lost money with Nations.
Yeah.
We called and talked to the enforcing officer that was going over
working on that case.
Yeah, they were working on that case, and they actually talked to us on the phone, and we got like the home phone number or whatever of one of the executives at the firm. We called that jackhole at home.
Mm-hmm.
Every single bad thing that happened in Forex, all of the stuff happened. All the ones that went bankrupt because they weren't regulated, and they didn't have the money, or they didn't have the money that they said they did, and the regulations weren't strong enough. So increased regulations are only going to help. Now, I've gotten rid of the camera, so there is no camera right now. Increased regulations will only serve to help you and me. They'll only serve to help tighten things up. It's strange that it comes in a farm bill, but a lot of this stuff has been coming for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, are you tired of your broker, skipping you out of positions and all kinds of weird stuff going on? I mean, yeah. Let me read to you a situation. And we'll describe where this was. We'll actually try to share this right now. Okay, I'm sharing with you my browser window. So you should be able to see some text from the NFA's website. On the NFA's website, let me read to you a situation. In one situation, a Forex dealer member, that's a Forex firm, discovered that an associated person, that's a person at a dealing desk, who works at the firm's dealing desk, had defrauded the firm by placing bogus trades on its trading platform. The associated person opened a number of customer accounts and then manufactured profits for those accounts. If a trade was losing money, he would create profit by closing it out at a price outside of the range of the trading platform at that time. The associated person's position on the dealing desk allowed him to enter trades at prices that were not reflected on the platform. That is crazy. That is nothing seen. All right, here. We'll try it again. Can you see anything at all? Can you see words on the screen? Because I'm sharing my browser window. Do 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 do. Great.
Yes. Good.
Okay. In this case, the firm uncovered the problem, but not all Forex dealer members have the information and procedures to do so. So that guy was helping his friends make money.
Yeah.
In the other situation, a Forex dealer member adjusted prices on a previously executed trade that had resulted in sizable profits for customers and losses for the firm. On the day in question, the Department of Labor released a report with numbers that were significantly lower than traders had projected. As soon as the news came out, a number of customers placed trades on the firm's platform. Excuse me, just for a moment. If regulation is so bad, do you want your dealer to be able to do this? Do you never want this to come to light? Did you want this to come to light? The only way this comes to light is if they're regulated. That's the only way this comes to light. As soon as the news came out, a number of traders placed trades on the firm's platform. The platform was designed to change prices automatically by taking the average price from 4 bank fees and adding a predetermined spread. Because of the volume and volatility, however, the bank fees were slower than usual. The Forex dealer member eventually changed its price quoting practices for that day. But by that time, many of its customers had made money, and as a counterparty, the firm had lost money. It then went back and adjusted the prices on those already confirmed trades, claiming that the price quotes on the platform at the time did not represent the market. If you have ever had your dealer say this to you, please just type yes in the browser window. Have you ever had your dealer go back and tell you that the quotes on the platform did not represent the market? Now that's happened to a lot of people. I know one person in Dubai that lost about $120,000 because the dealer said it never actually traded at that price. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
This kind of stuff will come to an end through regulation. That's happening here. This is the NFA's website. This isn't some discussion board where people can say whatever they want. This is crazy stuff. And the NFA has actually proposed an amendment to its standards for dealer members that actually takes care of this, that makes sure that this cannot happen. And if this ever happens, they have to make an adjustment. So this kind of regulation is coming down the pipe, and it's all designed to back you up, to help you out.
To make a more stable community for trading.
Exactly.
For all of it.
That's exactly what it's meant to do. And you can be sure that as time goes on, the CFTC, as they get control over the Forex market, you can be sure that as the CFTC has the power to do it, they will start to draft new rules. They're chomping at the bit to shut these bad boys down.
Yeah.
If you trade Forex at a smaller dealer, and I mean smaller dealer, a dealer that has less than $10 million in the capital requirements, just get your money out of it. Just get your money out of there. What is the CFTC of Switzerland? I don't know what the regulatory authority in Switzerland is. I'm assuming it's the Swiss National Bank, the SNB.
Yeah.
But I don't know that for sure. Are there questions or comments that have come up as we've talked today? Anything that's thanks for bearing with us as the sound went out and the video or the whatever went out. Remember, you can get the bill from Congress right here and go to Title 13 or page 548, and I've just disabled the sharing of the visibility. What about brokers who will fail to do the regulations? What will they do to them? They will shut them down. They will put them on notice, and they will have a certain period of time. Right now, if a dealer is going to cease business for any reason whatsoever, that dealer has to notify the NFA 7 days before they close the doors. They cannot close up shop and run away. They have to have a 7 day. So you'll see there will be a notice given. There'll be a publishing. The dealer will be required to email you, and people will just start taking their money out in droves. It'll just be a mad dash for the door. And customer accounts they have, well, that's a really good question. Customer accounts they have, if they're forced out of business, they'll be forced to wire you back the money in your account. Now, do they have it? Do they have that money to give you? Well, right now, if they're pooling money in your account with money in their account and they get into problems, your money's going away.
Gone.
Boyke says, what happens, another solution will be that they actually merge with or are bought by GFT or Interbank FX or FXCM or some of the larger firms. I don't mean to leave any out in particular. Sure. The larger firms will buy the smaller firms. In order to do that, though, there is a long process where the dealer buying the smaller dealer, they have to get approval to take over all those customer positions, and that does not happen overnight. I heard about brokers with fixed spreads. Is that okay? Sure, a fixed spread is great. I mean, if the whole thing with the no dealing desk is that you end up with variable spread. and they get pretty wide sometimes.
Yeah.
Fixed spreads are awesome. I'd sometimes rather, if you trade near volatile times, when the market is very volatile, you'd rather have a fixed spread than you would a really small one that could jump up.
Mm-hmm.
You can get in from, with a 1 pip spread, but get out with a 10 pip spread? Yeah, I'd say, Boyke, I can't choose a dealer for everybody, and I'm not liable for the dealer you do business with, but it is better to do business with the dealer that has a long track record and more money in the bank, just like Refco. No, a dealer that's regulated and has more money in the bank. It also seems that some spread that automatically adjusts to your pending order. Is that good or bad? That's interesting. I wonder if that's right. I mean, is it true you put a pending order in and all of a sudden the spread starts to change? I'd be interested to put two people's, what you should do in that case, count on us, is put your chart, put your platform and your account next to somebody else's with the same company and see if the spreads are the same.
Good idea.
That'd be interesting. What will the customer do in that long time of merging? Well, what's going to happen is your account's going to be in limbo. You're not going to have access to it during that time.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder sometimes if the spreads are changing on some of these platforms from people from trade to trade from time to time. It would be interesting to see.
That would be interesting to check out.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions coming through? I think, if you live outside the United States, you don't have to go through all the passport requirements. And people sometimes ask me, I want to trade somewhere that I can avoid having my stuff reported to the government. And Dave and I always say, wow, you don't want to pay your taxes. If you don't want to pay your taxes, like I said, move to Baghdad.
Move to Baghdad.
Move to Dubai.
Sure.
Move to Dubai. Get new citizenship somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know anything about how to avoid taxes. I don't know any of that stuff.
No.
I don't know any of that. What other questions do you have? I don't think there's any more questions.
Wow.
But if one platform take the order and an enter and the other one didn't, that price is not good, right? Yes, and you'd want to take a screenshot of those two platforms and you'd want to contest the trade with your dealer.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people give up contesting their trades with the dealer really quickly, and they need to pursue it more fully. Will USA brokers lose business to European brokers? What a great question.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's possible that if the USA brokers become over-regulated and it becomes a real problem, that European dealers will actually profit from that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better to withdraw the accounts from small brokers now? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Why would you want to have your money at a small broker?
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, what if they go the way of nations and you never see that money? And it's hard to see. We know people that happens.
I have traded with Interbank FX. I've traded with Awanda, and I've traded with a variety of different firms. And I have had good experiences with those two.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I trade a small account at Awanda right now. I have one there. So, yeah, I'm happy with them. I love the 0.9 pip spread on the euro. I really like it. Do they bucket my orders? Are they taking the other side of the trade? What do I care? Profit when I win. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one trade. In fact, I've had a friend who's in the room here. Had a friend who margin called 3 times at Awanda, and they didn't close the account. And let it go past the margin call, and they didn't do anything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, brokers can test positions directly with floor traders in the pits all the time. That is so true. My broker already went to merge with a... You know what we should do, Dave? What would be interesting is to start a company, have a guy that's a lawyer or an ombudsman or somebody that starts a business that is exclusively employed by you to contest trades with a dealer. You provide the documentation, and that person directly represents you to the dealer.
Oh, that would be good.
That would be an interesting...
Yeah, it would.
That would be really interesting. They need to be an attorney, but that would be an interesting practice. Definitely.
I bet that would be lucrative.
Yeah, that would be lucrative.
Like, say, give me a percentage of the winnings or something.
Well, no, you pay them by the hour, right?
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Where can you check a broker in the USA? Please note on the screen the address. Okay, hold on. Let me do that for you. Let me pull that up. Here you go. This is the link. You go there to search about a broker in the USA. All right, any additional questions or anything like that? Happy to have spent some time with you today. We're certainly not experts on it, but I just want to say that it's not the death of the retail Forex industry. They're not shutting it all down. You would have heard a lot more about it from your dealer.
Mm-hmm.
If they were shutting retail Forex down, your dealer would have sent you an email and to everybody else saying, call your congressman.
Yeah.
It's not happening. They're not shutting it down. They're not doing that. Tell us what to ask. Ask for large two-topping. No, I don't know. Call you and ask about your dealer. Ask for information about your dealer. Ask where you can get some information on complaints about your dealer. All right, Bob, I think we're done with the regulations webinar. We're so grateful to FX Street for having here. We appreciate the fact that you joined us today, and we look forward to staying in touch with you. You got questions about it or whatever else, just, send us an email. Go to robbooker.com or go to pitopia.com or traderradio.net. We'll talk more about this. Maybe we'll repeat some of this tomorrow.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll see if we can get somebody on the phone from the, regulatory agencies or something. So that'll be at traderradio.net, and that's free. Thanks, everybody. We hope you have a great day. Thanks for bearing with us when the sound went out. It's always our fault. We have a hard time with HotCom. HotCom has a hard time with us. Have a great day. Enjoy whatever's next. What's next, Maud? Who's coming up next on the webinar? Or are you guys all going out for drinks in Barcelona?